But when you can take 3 or 4 trends that seem like they're dissimilar, force yourself to make them go together, and you start to tell a story like a what-if story, and you believe it can happen because these trends are happening, and you can imagine maybe one trend influencing the other. You create a scenario that you can go out and throw in the basket of questions to test people's readiness, willingness, awareness, and you're going to get more insights that you typically wouldn't get.
I am really happy with this process because I said to somebody the first day, I have been dreaming about a future center for about 5 years. I've been actively involved in trying to create one for 3. And to see 30 people here ready and willing to tackle a problem and go through a process that is chaotic. Half of us don't know what we're doing, change directions. The chaos is probably driving some people crazy, but it's all part of the process.
What's so interesting being here in this discussion is forcing me, what's cool for me is forcing me to hear what other people are thinking, hear where other people are at with this, even in a different context than I've been in the past.
It's been interesting to me to see the whole array of things going on outside of our community and other communities. I mean, I'm fascinated by the innovation that's going on and the kind of development that's going on in other places. And one of my aspirations for Grand Rapids and West Michigan is that we are more innovative and more progressive, and that we stand out as being one of the communities that's doing something really dramatic in urban agriculture.
I think that is one of the key factors of success here, is that everyone wants to be here, who's truly interested and invested in the whole thing.
So to be here with this group and walk through yet another structured thought process of how can you bring diverse groups together, give them the tools to be innovative, and begin to prove to the world that it is a skill that can be learned and good things can come out of it. In essence, this process is creating a number of ambassadors who will stick with this subject and be innovative, but also take the skills that you learn and be innovative.
And what we had discussed was getting down to a manageable amount of high-level trends that we can work with, that we can use the same process that we did last time to cluster them together and come up with what we call opportunity paths. And those opportunity paths, as Bill has said, is going to drive where we go. In a world that is seemingly ruled by globalization, mass production, and the cheapest of cheapest, a growing number of consumers are seeking out local and authentic. Local and authentic. It's not just about local, it's authenticity. What I did with this, instead of talking about all the things, I actually took this to how people are connecting to local via online services. Because we know there's restaurants, we know there's, I have a picture of a farmer market, but there's a few different examples here of how people are searching those things out and getting connected to them.
What I'd like to do is really nail the research plan Wednesday. So Monday, everyone did a great job. That's a tough process to become a quick study of the trends, to sort through them, figure out what's really relevant, and then to kind of take these divergent kinds of things, society, culture, industry, and technology, and force them together. Opportunity statements, what we did basically is took everything we did, and some of them were similar, so hopefully you saw that we kind of honored what everyone said and we combined them. And I wrote it, and of course Susan had to rewrite it. But they're much better because they're very open-ended. We ended up with an architectural, buildings-focused kind of thing, like a pretty major potentially new facility type thing. This one was about new services, specifically, you know, ways to communication, right? Communication services, sorry. And then this one was about products and services. So we ended up with 3 very diverse ways to go with what we might end up with, which is pretty cool.
We took what everyone generated and the 3 directions that got the most votes, and we took the essence of it and brought it down to what we thought the broad opportunity was. The wording in the opportunity isn't, 100%. It doesn't have to be necessarily 100%. It happens to capture the gist, because when you go out and do the research, you may find, a different element or different path to take that isn't exactly that, like the museum. It may not be a museum. Bill, I always like to pick on him. He said facility. It may not be a hardwired facility. It's a learning experience. And if you look at some of what we're going to get at, that's what we want to do. Is we want to let the research really drive where the direction is going to go. As a researcher, I'd look at it and I'd say, okay, what do I need to learn to understand what the context of this opportunity is? And so I took that and we drafted out some specific objectives for the research. This isn't quantitative research, right? This is exploratory research. So more isn't better. Less and sometimes less, more thoughtful, more well planned out, open-ended questions that's really going to get to the heart of what you're trying to understand. You need to come back to your team with a synthesis, and that's what this is going to help you do. Is going back through those notes, what were the key observations, the key insights, what were the things that people said specifically, and then you're going to think about, okay, this column here is what I call the so what. So what does that mean to our topic? How does that translate? What does that mean? What are the implications? What are the ideas that you have? Use the what if. But you should have a plan. So you should have your questions flushed out so that anybody can take them. You should have how many people you're going to talk to in each of the groups, and then whoever's going to take the rest of the assignments and start to document that.